Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, what we're going to talk about on tonight's episode is Rob Bonta's response to the data breach that the report has now come back, and it turns out there was no nefarious intent, just extreme incompetence. But don't worry, Rob's got a plan, and I will give you a spoiler alert. It has nothing to do with responsibility, ownership, or honor. Everything is linked in the description box below, and I cannot wait to hear from you guys on this one. And if you are new, we are always looking to get as many people in the fold as we can. We're looking for that subscription. We are constantly trying to earn it, and I hope that we do so with this video, and if not, maybe on the next one. Thank you for your consideration. As I mentioned, everything is linked. Let's dive into this because we have got to talk about something that I think needs some exposure. So as you guys know, last year, or actually earlier this year, a couple months ago, we had a DOJ leak in the summertime of all the California gun owners who are in this database. And the idea was this database was for research purposes. It was authorized by Gavin Newsom. California went ham on it. Attorney General Rob Bonta, through the California DOJ, put this thing together and then was going to release it to universities and other media for research. But, of course, as you guys know, this thing went drastically wrong, and the entire list was downloadable along with personal information of gun owners throughout the state of California. Now, in a normal, sane world, we would say there's some sort of responsibility somewhere. There are consequences for this level of discrepancy. But not in California. Check this out. California DOJ released gun data accidentally, displayed poor judgment, in bungled response, review finds. Review found that personal information for 192,000 people was downloaded more than 2,500 times in a 12-hour period last June. Now, like I said, this was the gun owner thing, but if you live in California, there's probably a class action lawsuit I'm about to reference that you may want to take a look at. There was no, quote, nefarious purpose behind the release of personal data belonging to nearly 200,000 California gun owners and concealed carry permit holders by the State Department of Justice. An independent review has found, well, thank goodness that independent review found that there was no nefarious nature. It was only gross incompetence. That's so much better. So as you guys know, and you guys can have your own opinions, leave it in the comments field below. This could either be extremely nefarious, or it can be extreme incompetence. There's nothing in the middle. Both are bad options. Now, again, as I alluded to earlier, in a sane world, there would be some sort of responsibility at the top. I don't know, maybe like calling on Rob Bonta to step down, because this is an egregious abuse of people's rights and privacy, and he is responsible for the entire thing. It's his department. He's the head of the DOJ. Bye-bye. That's what should be happening. But don't worry, there's retraining that's going to take place, and he's angry, but he's still staying in the position. No one's getting fired, and they'll just be retraining. This is a core problem that's bigger than just in the 2A, but I continue. Let's get into it. The massive data breach, which prompted outrage and lawsuits from gun rights groups, was unintentional, according to a report released Wednesday by independent legal and forensic cyber experts hired to investigate the matter. The independent review found that personal information for 192,000 people was downloaded 2,734 times by 507 unique IP addresses during a roughly 12-hour period in late June. Translation: 200,000 people's data was exposed to roughly 507 unique individual computers over a 12-hour period. This was a really big breach, and again, there's no consequences, there's no responsibility, there's no honor. You're just going to keep on going, doing what you're doing, continuing your crusade against the Second Amendment. But check this out. Gun rights activists had called the data leak an egregious breach of privacy, which it was. That's accurate. The California Rifle and Pistol Association is preparing a class action lawsuit against the state and has set up a web page encouraging victims to file an administrative claim form with the state Justice Department. If you live in California and you're on that list, might not be a bad thing to look into. Again, the point I'm doing on this video is not that the leak happened. We know it did. We covered it. Not that an independent study has found that it was not nefarious, just extreme incompetence. But the idea that there are no consequences for even failure of any type of your role is a core problem in this country. In regards to the 2A and the privacy of 2A owners in California, this should be a point of contention. There should be some sort of responsibility beyond a class action lawsuit. There should be something where, I don't know, it can't happen again because the same people can't be trusted. But that's not the way it works. There is no pain. There is no responsibility. I'm just deeply angered. Well, Mr. Rob Bonta, I'll do it right here. You should step down. California Attorney General Rob Bonta has called the privacy breach unacceptable, and he promised corrective action. Well, thank goodness. Quote, I remain deeply angered that this incident occurred and extend my deepest apologies on behalf of the Department of Justice to those who were affected, Bonta said in a statement. You know, not too long ago, about a generation ago, any man or woman who was in this position and had this type of irresponsibility and this type of privacy breach would have stepped down immediately. There was a time where generals, when they didn't win battles, when they lost individual battles, they would step down. Let's not even talk about the honor that they had in Japan and different cultures when that stuff would go down. We've lost something core in our very fiber of our being because there are no consequences when you do something like this. And when you breach the privacy of 200,000 gun owners in California, and your answer is, I'm angry, I'm sad, I hope it doesn't make you too upset, and we're going to do better next time. It shouldn't be a next time. You should step down because you have failed in your role. And if the consequence becomes you fail in your role, you quit, all of a sudden people will stop failing in their role. It goes back to consequences for your failures. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments field below. Do you think it was nefarious? Do you think it was a big accident? Or do you think it was bald incompetence? Whatever. I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.